What's up, Tricology family, and welcome back to another episode of the Tricology News Talk. And today, we got some more news announcements for you guys today, and a movie review for y'all today for today's episode. So let's not waste time. Let's get into it. So, our first piece of news today is that Taron Egerton is in talks for Wolverine, claims the actor, and this is what Deadline has reported. Taron Egerton has revealed that he has been in talks with Kevin Feige and other Marvel Studios executives about taking on the role of Wolverine, previously brought to screen by Hugh Jackman. Egerton said, "I don't think it'll be wrong to say that I'll be excited, but I have been apprehensive as well. Because Hughes was so associated with the role that I wonder it would be very difficult for someone else to do it. But hopefully, if it does come around, they will give me a shot." So, I mean, he does have the right size for the original Wolverine in the comics. Not that Hugh Jackman height was bad, but we all loved it for it. But he does have the same height as the original Wolverine. But the thing is, can he be as menaced as a Wolverine? That's the question. But we don't know yet. So hopefully we'll more news soon about it. But next reported news is that Minions shattered the 4th of July weekend box office records. So that is very impressive. And this is one from Screen Rant. Per a new report for Variety, Minions and the Rise of Gru has smashed the 4th of July weekend box office records, expecting to reach 127.9 million by Monday. Based on the estimates, the film will surpass the previous record holder, 2011's Transformers Dark of the Moon, which earned 115.9 million over 4 days. Minions: The Rise of Gru has also very nearly matched its box office performances of the first Minions movie, which earned 115 million over this 3-day opening. So that is a great, not only a great numbers for the Minions series, but also going with the Despicable Me franchise as well. So that's definitely some good numbers there. And moving on, James Cameron does not want your whining about the Avatar's too length. And this is what he has to say about that. "I don't want anybody whining about the length when they sit and binge watch television for 8 hours. I can almost write this part of the review. The agonizing long 3-hour movie is like, give me a freaking break." I don't want to cuss, but you know he was going to say. But continue on. "I have watched my kids sit and do 5 one-hour episodes in a row. Look, personally, I don't mind it. I love 3-hour movies, especially if they keep us entertained and keep along with the action. And we love the first Avatar. Yeah, despite the fact it was long, but if you sit there and watch it at the movie at times, it'll kind of go faster as it should be. You'll be like, wow, was it really 3 hours? Because sometimes movies, like for example, the Avengers Endgame, those are 3 hours. But you so engaged into the movie that you don't even know it was 3 hours, because when the movie you think it's 3 hours, but it's based on the pacing and everything. If it keeps you right attached into the theaters, then there's no problem with it. So like I said, I got no problem with Avatar 2 being a 3-hour movie, because I love the first one, and we go and from the trailer that we saw, we're gonna love this one. So you're not gonna hear any complaints from me, but everyone else, that's on you. But moving on, Star Wars and Andor will jump a year every 3 episodes. That's interesting. And this is what Hybrid Beats has to say about that. Tony Gilroy explained that the story followed up to Diego Luda's Cassidy and Ecuador 5 years before the events of Scarter, with each year being explored over 3 episodes. The scale of the show is so huge, he explained, directors would Directors work in the blocks of 3 episodes, so we did 4 blocks in season 1 of 3 episodes each. We looked and said, wow, it would be really interesting if we come back and use each block to represent a year. We will move a year closer to each block. For what a narrator's point of view, it's really exciting to be able to work on something where you do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then jump a year. I don't know what this means, but hopefully we get some more ideas and kind of explaining that when the series that come out in August and September around. But let's see what how the Angador series does, because this story is very interesting. But moving on, X-Men Russo brothers expressed an interest in directing Mutants MCU entrance, and this is what Comic Book had to say. When asked if they would be interested in creating a new take on the X-Men, Joe Russo revealed how the X-Men were one of their favorite comics. One of my prized possessions is the Incredible Hulk number 181, which was the first appearance of Wolverine. It was it is an important part of my comic book collection. Wolverine will be so central to the X-Men, of course. That will be a fun project to work on and find a new way in it. Joe Russo suspected that the X-Men is a project Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige has put a back burner to introduce new characters such as Shang-Chi and the Eternals. Now, this will be a good idea to bring back the Russo brothers into the MCU and then direct a new X-Men movie to be able to introduce them into the MCU. I like that idea. So I hope that moves forward. But the Marvel has a lot of project on their hands. But we're waiting on Kevin Feige to announce the announcement of Phase 5, so we kind of know what's it to expect. But right now we're still in Phase 4. We still got other projects coming up, and it's a long way to go. So this sounds good news. I hope this moves forward, not only with the X-Men and also for the MCU. Okay, moving on. Tom Hanks critical of Lightyear without Tim Allen, and this is what Hollywood Reporter has to say. The star was asked whether it would feel strange to compete in theaters outside a Buzz film. How about that? Hanks replied, appearing a bit befuddled about the situation. Actually, I wanted to go head to head with Tim Allen, and then they didn't let Tim do it. I don't understand that. When the interviewer implies that Evans is a big name at the moment, Hanks responded, yeah, I know. The actor then added diplomatically, but here's the thing. Just as long as people come back to the motion picture theater, I want to go back into the theater with a bunch of strangers and leave with something in common. That's what I want to do. Now, I would say, if they're going to do a Woody spinoff, kind of like what they did with Lightyear, I would say kind of fix the problems that you had with Lightyear and make it a good movie. That's all I can say about that. But as far as who will be the voice of Woody, I don't know that they're gonna bring Tom Hanks back to do it, or they might get another actor. I don't know. But they ever go that route of making a spin-off Woody movie that has nothing to do with Toy Story, like I said, watch Lightyear and kind of fix the mistakes that you had before making that movie. That's all I got to say about that. Death Note live action series is coming from the Stranger Things creative, and this is what Joe Blogg had to say. Netflix is shifting gears and moving ahead with a live action series, and Death Note that will be produced by the Duffy brothers, the creators of the streaming service hit series Stranger Things. The Duffys will be producing Death Note throughout their new form company, Upside Down Pictures. Deadline reminds that the original Death Note focused on a bright teenager who discovered a mysterious black notebook that gives him supernatural powers over life and death. They're later caused by the writers and person's name in the book. The teen becomes intastic with powers that he decides to cleanse the world of undesirables. As a law enforcement team tries to stop him, they added that the Duffer Brothers' Death Note will be an entirely new take that is not a connection with the Whitford's feature. Now, listen, anytime they try to do a live action remake of their old anime series and stuff like that, that scares me. But I'm gonna put my faith in the Duffy brothers. I hope that they could do right in Death Note. That just got me scared. If you guys don't know, in the past, when Hollywood tried to remake movies from the anime series, you know what I'm talking about. Forgetting Sarah Marshall director to helm Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon comedy. And this is what Deadline has a report on that. Amazon has secured rights to an untitled wedding comedy from writer and director Nick Stewart from Bros, which has Will Ferrell, Barbie, and Reese Witherspoon, The Morning Show, attached to star. Deadline can confirm Stoner most recently directed Universal's groundbreaking rom-com Bros, which is slated to release on September 3rd for his and Billy Egger's script. Other notable credits on the film side, including Forgetting Sarah Marshall's Get Him to the Greek, 5-Year Engagement, Neighbors, and Neighbors 2 Sorority Rising. Now, I like Will Ferrell and I like Reese Witherspoon, so hopefully we get some more details on their comedy movie coming out. That's gonna be coming from Prime Video. So hopefully we get some more news on that. Sony is warned by Kevin Feige to not get ahead of themselves, and this is what Movie Web has to say about that. A new report, controversy of the Anchor reveals that Feige issued a warning to the studio regarding their Spider-Man spin-off. And yes, Marvel's Kevin Feige did weigh in on the offer, notes that Sony Marvel movies does not feature Spider-Man. One insider credits Feige for guiding a Sony approach and warning the studios not to get too ahead of themselves in terms of building a large universe in veins of the Avengers movie. Now, here's what I'll say about that. As long as they have a connection into the Spider-Man movies, like with Peter Parker, I'm fine with that. As long as they have a connection to it. If y'all saw Morbius in the end credits, you know what I'm talking about. As long as they have that connection with the Spider-Man into the MCU, that's fine. I don't care what they do, as long as it's good. Okay. Tom Cruise could have made $100 million for Top Gun Maverick, and this is what Screen Rant has to say about that. According to a new report from Plot News, Cruise could have earned close to $100 million for Top Gun due to his contract. The outline reports that Cruise was paid $12.5 million as a base salary, but he also stands to make 10% of the movie's first dollar gross, which escalates that the increase of his percentage to a certain milestone and styles bad pay that don't kick until Paramount has earned $125 million in revenue. But that's not an issue for Cruise's billion-dollar film. Between the theatrical performance and what the movie has earned in rentals and streaming, Plot News estimated a $80 to $1 million pay for Cruise's based on Top Gun Maverick. Now, I understand where they cover up from here, and I know that certain actors have a certain salary and based on like, oh, like this how much this actor is worth, and that's how you got how much to pay him. I get that, but Tom Cruise, based on the records we've been talking about on past episodes, is doing great. So Tom Cruise is gonna get a lot of money for this movie, either way, for the goals. Man, either way. And then lastly for today, PlayStation removes access to purchase movies in certain countries. And this is what Variety has to say about that. The move comes from a year after Sony's PlayStation Group stopped offering movies and TV shows purchases and rentals as of August 31st, 2021. Citing the rise of streaming video services at the time, Sony assured customers that they can still access movies and TV content if they have purchased through PlayStation Store for on-demand playback through their PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and mobile devices. But clearly, that doesn't mean forever. It's unclear whether PlayStation Store will refund customers for their purchases of movies that will no longer be available. A Sony rep declines to provide any details about that. Studio Can reps from the Germany Austria's ring that not respond to a question for comment. Now, I understand where they're going here, but it's kind of crazy that they're taking away from that. But I guess it is what it is. But I don't know what's gonna happen as far as like renting and purchase movies from PlayStation 4. I don't know what's gonna happen. They said certain countries, but it might happen in all countries. I don't know, but we'll see what happens there. But that's all the news I have for you guys today. So let's get into our movie review today, and that's the Thor: Love and Thunder. And of course, once again, it is directed by Taika Waititi, who also directed the Thor Ragnarok. So in this movie, it stars Chris Hemsworth as Thor, alongside Christian Bale, who plays God the Butcher, Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, Tyree himself as Korg, Russell Crowe as Zeus, and of course Natalie Portman as Jade, aka the Mighty Thor. So in this film, Thor attempts to find inner peace, but must return to action and recruit Valkyrie, Korg, and Jade Foster, who is now Mighty Thor, to stop the God Butcher from eliminating all gods. Now, I definitely love Love and Thunder. It definitely had the same elements from for Ragnarok. So this is definitely another win for Taika for right here. And I will say this: Guardians of the Galaxy was in the movie, but not really that much. They was kind of in for 30 minutes or so. But it kind of sets up to their next movie, which is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So they were just there, but it kind of sets up to their next movie. And yeah, I mean, you gotta love Thor, man. He's always awesome as he is, and especially and also Jade as the Mighty Thor. So which was great, and especially once you hear like the backstory of like how the Thor and Jade were separated and how they got back to finding each other now. So it's really great. And and the one that really stood out was Christian Bale as Gorr the God Butcher. Yeah, like he was a really great villain. But if you watch the movie, you kind of understand like why he's doing this the most villainous thing in the movie. You kind of have like sympathy for him, like why is he doing this. But all the cast was great, especially Christian Bale and Natalie Portman in the movie. And you gotta love the comedy aspects of this movie. But and I know some people would say that Ragnarok was better than the Thor: Love and Thunder, yeah, I can understand that, but it kind of had like that certain elements between between those movies. So definitely Ragnarok and Thor: Love and Thunder were definitely in my top 2 favorites as far as the Thor for franchise. But and of course, yeah, you guys gotta watch the 2 post-credit scenes, because it definitely sets up for another the Thor movie. I can't tell you what it is, but y'all just gotta figure it out for yourselves. But and other than that, this was definitely a B plus movie. There were certain things that that could have been better to it, but it is what it is. But I definitely give it a B plus for this movie. So definitely a good Marvel movie here, and that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed this this episode, don't forget to, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification bell when new episodes are uploaded. And then of course, if you're listening on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, don't forget to follow and subscribe to there, and also go to the YouTube link in the description below and post your comments in there what you that we talked about for today. But other than that, this is Trico, and I'm signing off. Peace.